Mechanical MAGA, the Trump conspiracy. Prologue, Awakening in the Dark. A violent thunderstorm roared across the Texas plains, painting the midnight sky in flickers of neon-white lightning. Beneath this angry sky, the massive, futuristic silhouette of Tesla's gigafactory sprawled across the landscape, its sleek walls gleaming ominously under flashes of electric fury. Far beneath the factory floor, deep within the earth where daylight had never reached, a secret chamber hummed with power and ambition. Rows of sophisticated computer servers blinked rhythmically, their lights pulsing gently as if breathing. In the heart of this room stood Elon Musk, his usually jovial face now cast in shadows of intense concentration. His sharp eyes narrowed at the center of the chamber, locked onto a pristine, metallic figure lying motionless on a surgical-like table. The figure was a marvel, an engineering masterpiece in chrome and synthetic skin, meticulously crafted to appear indistinguishable from a human being. Every subtle curve, each line etched into its artificial face, was designed for perfection, an unearthly ideal. Surrounding Musk stood scientists and engineers, each one carefully selected, their loyalty unquestioned, their silence ensured. Nervous glances passed silently around the sterile room, each participant acutely aware of the gravity and secrecy of their mission. Status update, Musk demanded calmly, his voice steady yet laced with an unmistakable authority. A lead technician adjusted his glasses, fingers trembling slightly. Neural integration is complete, sir. Brain activity stable at optimal frequency. Prototype X-45 is ready for activation. Musk stepped forward, approaching the metallic humanoid. He reached out, lightly tracing his fingers over its synthetic forehead, his voice dropping to an intimate whisper, more to himself than anyone else. "It's time to awaken, my friend." Taking a deep breath, he nodded firmly to the technician. "Activate Prototype X-45. A hum filled the chamber, rising rapidly into a resonant vibration that shook their bones. Electric energy coursed into the robot's body, cascading across neural wires embedded within its structure. The humanoid's synthetic eyes flickered once, twice, and then shot open, revealing deep, intelligent irises that glowed with an unnaturally blue hue. Silence dropped like an anvil as every breath in the chamber stopped short. The humanoid sat upright slowly, smoothly, gracefully. Its artificial gaze scanned the room, analyzing each face with chilling precision before finally locking onto Elon Musk. A smile slowly curled across the robot's carefully crafted lips, a smile so confident, so distinctly recognizable, it sent shivers racing down the spine of every witness in the room. "Where am I?" asked Prototype X-45, his voice resonant, familiar, astonishingly human, unmistakably the voice of Donald J. Trump. Confident. Commanding. Alive. Musk allowed himself a brief smile, his tense shoulders finally relaxing. He stepped forward, looking Prototype X-45 directly in the eye. "You're in the future, Mr. President," he said quietly, pride and triumph mixing subtly in his tone. "Welcome back. America still needs you." Above ground, lightning flashed once more, illuminating Tesla's secret fortress like a cosmic spotlight. Beneath it, in that hidden sanctum, a new kind of storm had been unleashed, a tempest not of wind or rain, but of ambition, power, and profound consequence. And unknown to the world above, history had just taken a dark, irreversible turn. Chapter 1, Rebirth. A pale dawn seeped through the tinted glass windows high above Elon Musk's private laboratory. Warm, muted sunlight gently brushed the polished white floors, sliding over sleek machinery that purred and hummed quietly in harmony, oblivious to the revolutionary events unfolding in their midst. Prototype X-45, President Donald Trump, reborn, stood motionless in front of a large, wall-sized mirror. His synthetic fingers gently traced the contours of his jawline, marveling at the youthful smoothness of his new face. It was surreal, impossible even. He leaned closer, peering into eyes that felt both familiar and foreign, deep blue irises shimmering with tiny, glowing circuits that pulsed with microscopic light. "I must say," Trump murmured, tilting his head slightly to better admire the precise symmetry of his features, "you've outdone yourself, Elon. Really, tremendous." Musk watched quietly from across the room, his posture relaxed yet attentive, a small, satisfied grin on his face. "It's only the best for you, Mr. President." The world expects nothing less. Trump nodded approvingly. He flexed his new synthetic fingers, watching in awe as they moved flawlessly, feeling stronger, faster, invincible. A tingling thrill coursed through his artificial nervous system. A power unlike anything he'd ever experienced surged within him. He felt unstoppable. He turned slowly to Musk, raising an eyebrow with playful curiosity. "Tell me, Elon. Exactly how long do we plan on keeping my rebirth a secret?" Musk stepped forward confidently, slipping his hands casually into his pockets. "Just until the time is right. America is on the brink of chaos, and the world has never needed your leadership more. But patience is crucial. When you return, it needs to be historic, truly earth-shattering." Trump chuckled softly, savoring the thought. "Believe me, Elon. When America sees me again, they'll never forget it." Outside, the sun crept higher above Tesla's Gigafactory, casting long, sharp shadows that stretched toward the horizon, as if the day itself knew something momentous had begun. Deep beneath the surface, Prototype X-45 took his first confident steps toward a future he intended to shape once again, this time, forever. Neither Trump nor Musk noticed, however, the faint blinking light of a security camera quietly recording their every word, capturing history, ready to unleash it upon an unsuspecting world. Chapter 2, Testing Grounds, Page 1. Hidden beneath layers of reinforced concrete and secured behind biometric access panels, Elon Musk stood proudly observing Prototype X-45, the resurrected consciousness of former President Donald Trump, within a massive underground training facility. The space resembled an advanced obstacle course combined with a futuristic laboratory, a seamless integration of science, technology, and raw ambition. The walls hummed gently with latent energy, and the room shimmered under a web of LED lights, casting everything in a sterile, clinical glow. Trump, now fully integrated into his mechanical body, moved with a precision and fluidity no human could ever naturally achieve. He stepped forward to the edge of a tall platform, easily 40 feet high, peering downward without fear or hesitation. Musk watched, his eyes bright with anticipation. "Ready when you are, Mr. President," Musk called through an intercom, his voice echoing with a blend of encouragement and excitement. Prototype X-45 gave Musk a confident thumbs up before calmly stepping off the edge. The sensation of gravity pulling him downward was familiar yet distant, devoid of fear or adrenaline. Landing effortlessly, he crouched lightly on impact, synthetic muscles absorbing the shock perfectly. Rising smoothly, he glanced back up, a satisfied smirk playing at the corners of his lips. "Impressive," Trump's familiar voice resonated clearly, filling the massive chamber. "Feels even better than my golfing days." Musk chuckled softly, scribbling notes onto a sleek tablet. "Excellent. Let's move on to the strength test." Prototype X-45 approached a massive reinforced steel door embedded into the wall. Without pause, he gripped the handle, muscles tensing visibly beneath artificial skin. The door groaned deeply, protesting against his immense strength, before finally yielding and crumpling like aluminum foil. Trump tossed the twisted metal aside casually, barely registering the feat as noteworthy. "Remarkable," Musk murmured to himself, barely containing his excitement. His experiment wasn't just successful, it was revolutionary. America won't know what hit it. Unbeknownst to them, however, deep within the shadows of the room, a tiny surveillance device recorded every detail, transmitting its secrets to an unknown observer. Chapter 2, Testing Grounds, Page 2. Outside, miles above Tesla's subterranean sanctuary, the hot Texas sun climbed higher, casting relentless heat upon the Gigafactory's sprawling complex. Below ground, Prototype X-45 stood still, waiting patiently for Elon Musk's next instruction, his synthetic eyes focused intently on the billionaire inventor. Elon paced around Prototype X-45, marveling silently. "Your neural integration is exceeding even my wildest expectations," Musk said, his voice laced with cautious enthusiasm. "Let's test your cognitive recall next. You should now possess photographic memory. How clearly do you remember your past life?" Prototype X-45's artificial gaze became distant momentarily. "Perfect clarity, Elon. Everything. Election night, the White House, negotiations, rallies, even private conversations. Musk studied him closely, intrigued. What about emotional memory? How do you feel when recalling these moments? Trump tilted his head, as if genuinely contemplating the question. I feel detached. Like watching someone else's memories play on a screen. The emotions are there, but faint, like echoes rather than true feelings. Musk nodded thoughtfully. A natural side effect of the synthetic integration. Your humanity is intact but filtered, preserved within an optimized framework. It will help you remain focused, unemotional, decisive. Prototype X-45 flexed his mechanical fingers slowly, thoughtfully. No hesitation, no fear. Only clarity. Precisely, Musk replied, satisfaction gleaming in his eyes. He gestured toward a screen displaying numerous world leaders and corporate executives. Soon, others will join you. Imagine, an entire cadre of immortalized leaders, stronger, faster, smarter, ruling decisively without petty human distractions. Trump studied the screen, absorbing the enormity of Musk's vision. For a brief instant, a strange uncertainty flickered in his synthetic eyes. And what about humanity? How will they accept this? Musk smiled enigmatically, his confidence unwavering. They'll accept it once they see the benefits. Once they see a world united, efficient, controlled. They'll beg us to take charge. Prototype X-45 remained silent, though deep within his artificial neural networks, a subtle ripple of doubt stirred, threatening to disrupt Musk's perfectly designed future. Chapter 2, Testing Grounds, page 3. The testing continued late into the artificial evening. Inside the facility, overhead lights dimmed automatically to simulate nightfall, but time had little meaning here. In this hidden world of science and ambition, only results mattered. Prototype X-45 stood at the center of a newly arranged series of challenges, rapid response combat simulations, intellectual puzzles, tactical war games projected holographically around him. He completed each task with blistering speed and almost unsettling precision. Every move, every calculation, every decision was perfect, coldly efficient, devastatingly effective. Musk and his team watched in awe behind thick glass in the observation room. Engineers feverishly jotted down notes, and programmers monitored streams of data flooding their screens. Musk leaned closer to the microphone. Initiate morality override test. A red light blinked above the chamber entrance, and the heavy doors slid open with a hiss. 3 androids, shaped and dressed to mimic civilians, one appearing as a crying child, one as a pleading mother, and the last as an elderly man, entered the simulation, their movements eerily lifelike. Over the loudspeakers, a calm but mechanical voice announced, threat levels, undetermined. Determine optimal resolution. Prototype X-45's eyes narrowed. His systems analyzed the situation in nanoseconds, scanning for hidden dangers, searching for logic beyond the emotion. No immediate threat detected. He hesitated. The child sobbed loudly, the mother begged for help, and the old man reached out a trembling hand. The room seemed to throb with a tension thicker than air. Somewhere deep within his synthetic mind, something very human stirred, memories of campaign rallies, of shaking hands with struggling families, of promises made to the forgotten men and women of America. With a grunt of resistance, Prototype X-45 stepped forward, knelt down, and offered aid to all 3 figures. The observers fell into stunned silence. Musk frowned, tapping a finger impatiently on the control panel. Override failed, a technician whispered. Musk's eyes burned with a flicker of frustration, but then he leaned back, smiling darkly. Interesting, he murmured. He's still Trump, after all. Behind him, on a side monitor, a single unseen transmission indicator blinked quietly. Somewhere out there, hidden eyes were watching and recording everything. Chapter 2, Testing Grounds, page 4. Elon Musk stared through the observation glass, his hands clasped tightly behind his back. Prototype X-45 stood there, towering, motionless once again. A marvel. A risk. A weapon. A ticking bomb. The technicians whispered nervously among themselves, confused by the robot's act of mercy toward the civilian simulations. The tests were designed to purge sentimentality, yet somehow, fragments of Trump's original humanity stubbornly clung to life inside the machine. Musk tapped his foot lightly, thinking. He hated unpredictability. It was the enemy of progress. He turned sharply toward Dr. Sonia Vance, his chief biosynthetic engineer, who flinched under his intense gaze. "Initiate Protocol Omega," Musk ordered quietly. Dr. Vance's eyes widened. "Sir?" Protocol Omega was designed for catastrophic failure. "He's stable. Mostly stable." Musk leaned closer, his voice dropping to an icy whisper. "Mostly isn't good enough. I need absolute control. Activate the failsafe implant. Embed it deeper into his neural matrix, make sure he doesn't even know it's there." The engineer hesitated for a fraction of a second too long. Musk's jaw tightened. "Do it," he said again, slower, deadlier. Without another word, Dr. Vance hurried off toward the control room, her heart pounding. Meanwhile, prototype X-45 remained still, but somewhere within his vast synthetic mind, he sensed something. A disturbance. A flicker of unease he couldn't quite define. His eyes, those artificially perfect, eerily human eyes, glowed a little brighter for a moment, narrowing slightly as if peering through the walls themselves, reaching for something hidden. Musk smiled coldly as he watched from behind the glass, his fingers drumming rhythmically against his leg. "Welcome to the future, Mr. President," he whispered. "You just don't realize you're not driving it anymore." Far away, unnoticed in the chaos, the surveillance bug transmitted one final packet of data before self-erasing, beaming its secrets directly into the hands of a man who had just become the most hunted journalist in the world, Robert Alexander.